Yes, indeedly doodly. This is the Common Good Radio Show brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I am your grandma's favorite pastor, Pastor John McLean, here with the one and only Wesley Solar Source, my guest co-host for the week. Thank you for joining me, bud.
Thank you for having me.
I know.
It's good to see you.
This is exciting. I really look forward to see how this is going to go. It's either going to be a train wreck or it's going to be amazing. So I'm excited to see it.
Maybe a combination of the two.
Oh, man, that'd be great. Yeah, but like where no one gets hurt. Like a train wreck where no one gets hurt, no cargo was lost, and the insurance is going to cover everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. There we go. So welcome our good friend Wesley Solar Source with Solar Source.
And that's S-O-R-C-E.
S-O-R-C-E.
O-R-C-E.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you spell it the other way, you'll get a different person, different organization altogether. Not him. Exactly. Yeah. And they may be a good enough organization, but we don't know. But this guy, good guy. Good. Yeah, right? Does that go on Google reviews right there? Is that good?
Google, yes.
Yeah, perfect.
We'll get there.
Yeah, but this would not be the Common Good Radio Show following, a great week where we had the Common Good Breakfast. If I did not give thanks to a very loving Father that has not only blessed me with so much abundance, but everybody in this studio, I know, with our guests that we have today, we got John Spur, who is a very blessed man, above and beyond. I mean, certainly, I don't know if we'll talk about it today on the show, but he could have died, and he survived that. And so much meeting his amazing wife, Dr. Rachel, and we'll talk about the amazing work they do at Inspire Life Chiropractic, and and everything that all the blessings that came out of their life because of that. So, and then we got Wesley over here, a new friend, great friend. Definitely seems like he has a lot of amazing stuff going on, and in the future, I mean, this guy's just a ball of potential. So I'm just look forward to see what God has in store, but. Again, none of that would be possible without a very loving Father. And I'm going to thank him with the Lord's Prayer that goes a little something like this. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. So all that fun stuff being said, we have definitely top 3 list of me and my wife's favorite couples on the planet Earth. We haven't been to Mars yet, so not quite sure about that. But they as a couple are known as the Inspireds. But in the hot seat first, we're going to have Dr. Rachel of the Inspired with Inspired Life Chiropractic talking about, if you haven't heard it them before on the show, this amazing facility that they've just renovated. They've kind of added on to, created an expansion and a beautification. Just recently had an open house, which I'm sure was a smashing success with millions of people that have been talking about it all over the world. And but definitely with Dr. Rachel, she's an amazing person. She's really, me and my wife, we've learned a lot in how to be professionals, how to plan, how to put things together, how to live holistically through her. And I have to set an appointment this upcoming week for my hip because she's going to help me get it squared away. But without saying too much more and making her too much more nervous, I welcome Dr. Rachel to the show.
Choo 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 choo. Here comes the train wreck.
Yeah. Nice. So, welcome to the show once again, and we're gonna have a good time. Okay? I promise.
All right.
I promise.
We got John here, so
yeah.
John.
So if all else fails, yeah, he'll jump in here and pick on me because that's what he does best. No, it's not what you do best.
No, that's.
So, as I kind of set you up for, you have this new facility, a lot of renovation done. I by your schmansome husband there, and so let's give us. I haven't been there yet. I look forward to going and checking it out this Friday. Give me a virtual tour. I walk in the place, and then what do I run into?
A cloud picks you up at the door, takes you to the front desk.
Oh, that's amazing. This is Super Mario Brothers now. Yes. Excellent. Boom, 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 boom.
It's basically like walking into one of those big moving mushrooms.
Okay.
Up, you one up That's what
That's it.
chiropractic's all about.
That makes sense.
We're recharging you. Now we did make a really nice facility. What did somebody say yesterday, John? This is like chiropractor meets nightclub.
Nice.
was like-
Okay.
I think it's the lights in the ceiling.
I can get
You'll
behind
have to
that.
see when you
Yeah.
when you come in.
Uh-huh.
But I described the office as a hug when we first saw this building or this facility, because I have a little open adjusting area, and all of these rooms wrap around. So it's just kind of like a little hug to the area that I am in for the most part. But
Mhm.
I just want to take people through what to expect when they come into the office if they're coming in as a new patient. We send them some online intake forms to fill out so I can review that ahead of time.
Mm,
And then when they
mhm.
come in, we sit down and I go through a consult form with them because my goals are I want to see what's going on, what are they in for. A lot of people don't even know chiropractic can help a lot of other things. So I ask them head to toe anything else going on, and then we can further review that. But I want to see like what are their goals.
Mhm.
And then I explain exactly what we're doing. Always say, ask any questions because it's their care and it's their body, and I want them to understand. I don't want to just tell them what we're
Mhm.
doing. I check their posture, and from what I see in their posture and what's going on in their history, I'll do my exam, which can include x-rays. So that's new in the office. I have a brand new digital x-ray machine, so they don't have to
Pretty
go
cool.
anywhere else.
Mm.
Lay them on the table, feel all the joints, tell them exactly what I'm feeling. And if they're ready for it, we usually get them their first adjustment that day,
Nice.
send them away, and they come back for their second visit where I review those x-rays if we did take them, see how they did with their treatment, and give them treatment recommendations.
Interesting. And I know when me and you first met, the very first time, I think we were having, is here?
No,
Or was it at lunch?
It
We
was
had
at lunch. We met you at
The
Sam's.
very first time we met and we had lunch, and I pulled out my wallet to give you a business
Your
card.
George Costanza wallet.
Yeah, exactly. And I haven't had that wallet since. And I have my phone wallet now, but I have this hip issue. Do you think they're associated? They're
Oh, yeah.
related?
People, this wallet was 2 inches thick.
Mm-hmm.
And when you picture sitting on something 2 inches higher on one butt cheek than the other,
Yep.
that's just a repetitive stress
Mm.
every single day, as
Mm.
much as you're sitting amongst all the other stresses that get put upon a person's body with their job or whatever they're going through in life.
Mm-hmm.
And it can create scoliosis curves. It can create just the pelvis
Mm.
being off, and
Wild.
not
Mm.
just pain, but when the spine's affected, that can affect the nerves, and those nerves go to organ systems. It can lead to a lot of internal health system issues.
Well, nice. Well, we're going to talk about all that and more after the break. This is Dr. Rachel with Inspired Life Chiropractic. Sometimes I say Inspired Life Mortgage because she has it on her shirt.
Oh man.
But I definitely, I certainly want to thank Inspired Life Mortgage as well as our other amazing list of sponsors. We got Picture House, Coin Heating and Plumbing, Inspired Life Mortgage, and Inspired Life Chiropractic. Pep Inc. We have Solar Source, cool guy across the corner from me. Gap Ministries, Better Business Bureau of Southern Arizona, Seat and Photography, Erica Art, the Marketing Corner, Action Print and Copy, Veteran Risk Commission, and Home Community Services. We're going to have all that and more, and a lot more good stuff from Dr. Rachel with Inspired Life Chiropractic after the break. Definitely go to veteranrescuemission.org or homecommunityservices.com to find out more information about the amazing work we do. You guys hang out, go potty real quick. You may have time for, maybe get a snack, but you better hurry back or you're going to miss it all. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I am Pastor John McLean here with Mr. Wesley Solar Source of The Solar Source. How can they get a hold of you?
They can call me directly at 520-223-1729. That's
Okay.
520-223-1729.
You just have a radio voice.
No, I don't.
You do, man. You really do. It's kind of like smooth but fun.
Okay.
You know, because you don't want too smooth, you don't want too fun. It's a good combination.
John's got a face for rodeo.
Face for radio. Yeah, I knew that
Face
was
for
coming.
radio.
I knew that was coming. Yeah, it's my buddy John. So, before we went to the break, we were talking with Dr. Rachel with Inspire Life Chiropractic about the new location, about the amazing work that her and her husband, my buddy who likes to pick on me, John Spur, put in over there, and then just the difference that chiropractic work can do. But I know my buddy Wesley there has a couple questions for you, Dr. Rachel. So
Shoot,
prepare
Wes.
yourself.
All right.
What part of town are you located?
I like to call it Central East, but then people look at me funny. The ones that are in Marana.
Central- yeah.
It's 1951 North Wilmot. It's Wilmot and Grant, that little mini Wilmot between Ema and Grant.
Mm-hmm.
A great location. I mean, it's
Mhm.
pretty central.
Yeah.
And then
See?
online intake form. That's awesome. So when I get to you, I don't have to sit down in the waiting room and fill out a bunch of paperwork, because that's the number one thing that I hate when I go to the doctor's office. Period.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, "Here's your book."
Yeah.
I want
You can
people to
have
get
the
it done ahead of
appointment
time
after
because
it.
they're taking their time to fill it out.
Mm-hmm.
I want to look at it
Outstanding.
Yeah.
instead of just asking them the same questions. I like to just fill in the blanks from what they fill out.
Mm-hmm.
What other new services? You mentioned that you're doing X-rays as well.
Yeah, I have X-rays now, so they don't have to go anywhere. Chiropractic care, I've always talked about it. That's my main thing, taking care of your nerve, muscle, skeletal needs. But we have added acupuncture to this new location, and that helps clear blockages in any organ system meridians. And I'll let the acupuncturist, tell you about that on another day. She's the expert. I just get it done.
Nice.
I don't do it.
And I guess let's just touch on kind of the array or litany or plethora of new services or services that you guys have there at Inspired Life Chiropractic. And then let's talk about some success stories. That's
Okay.
my favorite part.
Yeah, I got it. Massage also. So working on those soft tissues, because the more modalities you do, the better each thing you do. Your adjustments hold better. You can relax and enjoy your massage better. But I have low-level laser therapy. We have soft wave therapy. I've talked about that before. That's that stem cell. It helps your body stimulate its own stem cells to injured areas. We have the Hawkit. That's the hyperthermic ozone carbonic acid transdermal technology. Do you want to repeat that?
How did you remember that? Did you spend
It
like
is
just a day?
ingrained.
Like you had to write that
What
on
does
your
that
mirror,
mean? What does
right?
it mean? So I say it. I used to say it really slow, looking up at the sky.
Uh-huh.
Now I can just rattle it.
Wow. Well done.
But again, that's one of our newest things, and we have for the first 50 people that want to take advantage of our initial special, they'll be locked into that special price for their life with me. We just got our new, simply call it a massage rolly table, but it's an awesome table that you lay on with rollers going up and down the spine. Fancy term is intersegmental traction. So those are the new
I
things
like
that
massage rolly table
I know.
much better.
I
Yeah,
know.
definitely. It just rolls off the tongue. No, all pun intended.
But no, I've added all of these because chiropractic is fantastic, but we're limited. Like people need chiropractic, but if there's tears or like really serious injuries, we need a little bit more help for the body. And so a lot of my success stories are people that use those other modalities to take them to the next level. And when I started getting these new modalities, I didn't even realize how many people were coming in to maintain their chronic issues so that they wouldn't get worse. And they need to, so they don't get worse. But being able to take them to another level. So you wanted to hear some successes. I have a recent family. This one lady, she's young 40s, and she had a back issue, like I think it was around the age of 19, where she had her first surgery, and that led to some other surgeries. And there's a time and place for that medical intervention, which she couldn't avoid. But since like 20 plus years, she's had chronic issues on and off, and she is very fit, very healthy lady. She coaches volleyball. She works at her family business. But she was sent to me by her trainer, and we did soft wave therapy on her, and she got up off the table. She couldn't even believe how she felt, like just the difference she felt in years. And she was so impressed that her mom came in like a couple days later. And these people all have a chiropractor. Some of these people have 2 chiropractors already, but her mom came in for the soft wave, and she felt a difference after the first one. She had pain wrapping from her neck down both her shoulders, down both of her hands, like burning pain. So she's had success with it so far, and she's added chiropractic.
Every time I hear these stories, and I'll have you go on, but just kind of it blows my mind. Like I'm surprised you don't bring more tears to my eyes that like people, including myself, like I have this hip issue that I've been dealing with for months at least, that I people feel like they just have to deal with it. Like it's just, this is part of my life now,
I know.
But go on, please.
Well, that just changed down to other family members. So mom brought in her husband, and since one of the other sisters came in, and what I'm getting from them is they were going to chiropractors, but not as often because they were hurting when they were leaving. It was just too rough for them.
Mhm.
And that's not a bad thing. There's different techniques for everybody. But chiropractors should have a handful of techniques at least to be able to see people and
Mhm.
not have them come in and be like, I heard after I leave, okay, let's do the same thing over and over again.
Mhm.
You really have to listen to the person and hear what their goals are. I find a lot of people, they don't come in because they have back pain. They come in because they can't play with their grandkids anymore.
Mm.
They come in because it's limiting them from working. And all
Mhm.
of these people are local business owners. And so they sent in one of their employees that had a cart run into his knee
Mm.
and he was having trouble on the job. Really good company, really good people. But that's the
Mm.
big picture. It's quality of life and longevity. We were talking earlier about how long am I going to live?
Mhm.
No one knows.
Mhm.
It's what's the quality of life going to be like when you get there,
Mhm.
or even right now, as you said.
Yeah, and it's mind blowing. Every time I have you on, I feel like just kind of like my mind expands on kind of what I'm capable of and like the things I'm not considering, whether it's in the now or the John, at 80, that I need to really start looking at. Because I mean, there from a spiritual level, from mental level, emotional level, I'm pretty good about that stuff. Definitely being married to a therapist, but. And I thought from a physical level, I was pretty good. I eat well, drink plenty of water, exercise, do that type of stuff. But certainly when I speak to you, it expands my frontal lobe, and realizing that there's still something that I'm missing. So I appreciate when you come in here and help educate not only myself, but my listeners, because, we think we have it figured out till somebody reminds us we don't.
Doctor means teacher. It's our duty to educate and help. You get to make the decisions yourself, but
Yeah.
I have to give you the opportunities.
And I appreciate it. Well, that's Dr. Rachel with Inspired Life Chiropractic. How can they get a hold of you, actually?
Office number is 520-390-2966. We have our website. You can book online too. Even if you're a new patient, just hit that new patient button. That's inspiredlifechiropractic.com. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, but 520-390-2966.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Rachel.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah, she'll be here snickering in the background while her husband, John Spur, with Inspired Life Mortgage is on. We definitely thank her. This is the Common Good Radio Show brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I'm Pastor John McClain here with Wesley Solar Source. I want to say I have more to say, but we'll be back after the break. You just stay beautiful. That's all you can do, I guess. I don't know. Welcome back to the Common Good Radio Show brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I'm Pastor John McClain, trying to freak out Wesley Solar Source over here, making him think that I was going to have him do the intro.
You had me. I was going to go.
Yeah, I
It
saw
was-
that quick deer in the headlights look. Yeah.
Thank you for turning the train.
Yeah, I got you, bud. I got you. But I got to mess with you a little bit. It's like the hazing for the rookie guest co-host, for sure. Because this will
I
be the
appreciate
first
it.
of many, brother. It'll be the first of
Outstanding.
many. Because you got a cool headset, so you got to put that thing to use.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And so just a quick overview. I mean, what do you think so far? First time being a guest co-host on the show. You're just on the show, I think, a week or two back.
2 weeks back.
Yeah.
But it's a blast so
Yeah.
far.
Okay, good.
We're having a blast. We're having
Yeah.
a good time.
Yeah, well, you're about to interview one of the funnest guys to interview. Usually he directs his fun poking at me, but he may get some fun poking in at you. But he's really good at the fun poking. So prepare yourself.
I look forward to it.
Okay, I know you do. Well, without further ado, we have a gentleman who is definitely a model that I follow after. I mean, I've learned so many lessons, whether it's in kind of planning, strategy. Certainly, I've said it so many times on this show, but me and my wife wouldn't live in the beautiful home that we live in today if it wasn't for him, because I said, hey, I don't have access to my VA loan. And he's like, well, why don't you let me try it? And I was like, well, if you really want to waste your time, that's fine. Like I said it with like an attitude, like with some stank on it. And he's like, well, I don't think it's a waste. He said real calm and composed. Like he's a stoic when he wants to be. Well, I don't think it'll be a waste of my time. I think it'll be worth it. So let me try it out.
You're not going to quit your day job, right? Please don't quit your day job.
That was kind of like half John Spur, half Obama. I don't know what that was, but but anyways, this gentleman, he said, "Let me try it out," and it turned out I was eligible for the VA loan, and we saved quite a bit of money, got an excellent interest rate, and life was grand because of this man, Mr. John Spur with Inspired Life Mortgage. Thank you for joining us, bud.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess, we have, another vet in here. We got an Air Force vet in Wesley Solar Source, or Wesley Source, as his parents may know him as.
Sometimes.
Yeah. What would you advise to him, as a veteran? Let's just say he doesn't know anything about this, about VA loans and eligibility and the whole process. What would you say to him to kind of probably get rid of any stigma that he may have around the idea?
Just in general, there's a stigma about VA loans being more difficult to get. Real estate agents don't like taking offers that have VA loans on them because the appraiser is more difficult. There's inspections and so on and so forth. And all of that is just not true. VA is probably the best loan that you can get. If you have VA benefits, you're going to get the best rates, best fees, no down payment. And I don't think any veteran should be scared to make that phone call. Just call me. It takes 15, 20 minutes. Within 15, 20 minutes, I'll know if you have your certificate of eligibility or not, and if you qualify to buy a home. It sounds like an insurance commercial, in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's that simple. Rachel's heard me time and time again get on the phone, take an application, and say, yes, you're qualified. Go buy a house.
That's actually a really good motto. Like, I could see in your commercials, for 15 minutes or less, you can get your dream home.
Beautiful. That was good.
And it was good.
Yeah,
it kind of feels like an easy button. Just
yeah,
get home.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it's beautiful. And then I guess kind of like in that same vein, I know today, because you told me, the Fed raised their rates another 0.250%. Well, I mean, what does that mean?
It seems like every month that I'm on with you is the same day that the Fed raises rates. Yeah. I feel like it's a broken record, but
I'm good luck that way.
Yeah, you're very good luck that way. The Fed raised rates 0.25%. That was expected. The verbiage that they came out with a report, they lightened up on it. And so again, what's funny is the Fed raised short-term rates, but mortgage rates reacted and came down a little bit today. And they came down because of the Fed's comments, and they lightened their verbiage as far as future rate hikes. So mortgage rates have continued to trend down since October of last year, even though the Fed has raised rates 6 times since October, 5 times. 5 times since October, the Fed has raised rates, but mortgage rates have continued to trend downward since October.
Interesting. Why do you think that is? What do you think there's any adjacency between the Fed raising the rates and mortgage rates going down?
I've been doing this for 30 years, and every time I go through a cycle, the Fed raises rates, I think I understand it, and then something new gets thrown in there, and I have no clue as to why the market's reacting the way it is. So it's a guessing game a lot of times. It's experience that we've had just in the marketplace and having an idea of how this works. But right now, the rates, I believe that the secondary market is just making a statement that they don't want mortgage rates over 7 or 8% because they know people are going to refinance out, and refinancing has become very, very easy. You can refinance online in the blink of an eye. And so we continue to test the ceiling of mortgage rates every time the Fed raises rates. And I think the secondary market is saying we are not going to go much further than this because we don't want to get stuck with a whole bunch of loans that are going to be paid off in a year and a half, because they don't make money that way. They make money having loans for 4, 5, 6, 10 years, not for a year.
Yeah. So with the Fed raising the rates today, how would this affect the rates as a whole, do you think?
I mean, your credit card rates are going to go up. Home equity line of credits rates are going to go up. Auto loan rates are going to go up. Anything that's short term is going to go up 0.25%. I think from a mortgage perspective, if they keep the verbiage as is, we're going to continue to see mortgage rates trend downward. But your short-term stuff, as far as credit cards, home equity line of credits, vehicle loans, all that, they're all going to continue to go up if the Fed continues to raise rates.
Okay, well, when we get back from the break, I definitely want to talk about I know regularly we talk about no matter what's going on, the best time to buy is now. So I certainly want to discuss the rate hike and that philosophy, and see if anything's changed in regards to that philosophy for you. I'll just hold it as a teaser, so don't say anything yet. But after the break, we'll talk to John. He'll talk to us more about the rate hikes and what you should be thinking about in regards to home purchasing and that type of good stuff. But most of all, I definitely want to invite you to go to veteranrescuemission.org to not only check out the great work that we do with this radio show, the great work that we do in helping with counseling the couples and counseling the veterans that go through our program, but primarily this month here, at the end of this month, I'm going to be camping out for the weekend on the streets to locate unhoused veterans, get them back to our tiny house village, and get them connected with housing. So definitely go to veteranrescuemission.org to find out how you can help with that mission and even be involved if you want to come camp out with us. So I will tell you more about that probably in the future, probably not after the break, but you'll only find out if you listen. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Tom. You know your stuff. I got you. This is the Common Good Radio Show brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. That's Tom, our engineer, gearing us up with the smooth last segment, getting us ready to go in the summer, in the weekend rather. Whether you're listening on Saturday on 106.3 The Groove or 10:30 The Voice on Sunday. I hope you had a good weekend. I hope that you ate all your vegetables and washed behind your ears. You got a busy week ahead of you. I'm Pastor John McLean of Veteran Rescue Mission here with Mr. Wesley Solar Source. And tell them again how they can get a hold of you if they want to have solar needs.
You can reach out to me directly, 520-223-1729.
Yeah, and I'm a future happy customer of this gentleman here. I'm astonished, and we'll touch on this briefly, not to take too much of my favorite man in the whole wide world's time, John Spur, but it doesn't cost any money to get it on my house.
Not to start, no.
Yeah,
it's no upfront cost.
Yeah.
So we come into the house, we build. I'm actually going to be building your custom design after we get done,
nice.
And then I'm going to send it right over to you in your email so we can get together and talk about it.
I'm
looking forward to it.
I'm excited. Yeah, it's super cool. And it's just like, I think like we see, whether it's with Dr. Rachel with Inspired Life Chiropractic, or it's even John with Inspired Life Mortgage. When I first met him, he's not as nice now. But it's just, it's all about relationships. It's all about building friendships. And, as much as, especially with these big buys, buying a house, investing in my body and spending hundreds, thousands of dollars doing that, getting a solar system that costs thousands of dollars. Like, it's all about having trust and having someone that kind of puts in that extra 2 cents. And
absolutely.
I appreciate that with you so far. It's just this relationship we've had. It's going in every single direction just because you're such a quality cat.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So back to another quality guy that certainly I've, another partner and friend of mine. That's, it's just started off with me putting my trust in him and he and I, and it's just definitely blossomed. And before we went to the break, we were talking with John Spur with Inspired Life Mortgage about the modality, if you will, that he regularly speaks about, that now is the best time to buy a house. Is more or less what he says, because now is always the best time to buy a house. There's ostensibly a lot going on in the market always, but regardless, renting versus buying, there's a big difference in equity. So we just had
huge.
A quarter and 0.25% hike today in the rates by the Fed. Is that still true?
You're never going to change my mind on.
I'm going to try.
You're not going to.
I'm going to try.
Not going to happen.
Yeah.
I believe if you can afford to buy a home, regardless of what interest rates are, go buy a house. Invest in yourself. If you're renting, your interest rate is 100%. It's that simple. You're not building any equity in a property. You're investing in the owner of that property, and you're not investing in yourself. There is hidden losses that people don't think about when you are not owning a home, because you're not getting the 2 to 5% appreciation, which is normal. You're not paying down your principal balance so that you're gaining equity in the property. Every time you make your $1,200, $1,500, $1,800 a month rental payment, it's essentially taking money and putting it in a trash can and setting it on fire.
Mm.
And I know I wouldn't go take $1,800 and throw it in the trash bin in the backyard and set it on fire, but if you can afford to rent in Tucson and you can afford the rents that are in Tucson, you can afford to buy a house. It's time to invest in yourself. Don't worry about the rates. Don't worry about what the news media is saying about somebody with a great credit score is going to get higher rates than somebody with a low credit score. It's just all noise. Invest in yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's an interesting thought you bring up, because I know, like I mentioned earlier in the show, I learn a lot from you, just kind of just conversating with you or just watching the way that you operate. And I guess kind of low-hanging fruit for our listeners outside of, let's just say, they've taken your advice, they purchased a house. What are some other like sound places people should be investing their money rather than where they're putting it now? Because like you're saying, that's $1,800 that somebody could be saving to get rid of their rental addiction. What are some of the other places where people are could be investing? Could be like, I think in the past we've discussed rental properties and things of that nature that I know you're invested into, and again, a place where I learned so much from you. What's some of the other low-hanging fruit people don't consider? Well,
and really, in what you're asking me to do is talking about investing. The only thing I can talk about is going to be the real estate side of it. Mm-hmm. As I'm not a licensed financial planner, but investment properties are a great way to build wealth. The richest families in the country got rich on either steel, oil, or real estate. Well, we don't have steel in Arizona, and there's very little oil here, but we do have real estate. And we can invest in real estate. And there's many, many opportunities for somebody that wants to start building a rental portfolio. There's many ways that it can be done. But you got to have experts in your corner that know how to do it, have done it themselves, and can guide you down the right path. Because if you don't do it correctly, or somebody's getting you into something you can't afford, it can be a detriment.
Mm-hmm. And you kind of touched on it earlier, but let's take a deeper dive into it, because I hear all this noise about how people with high credit scores are paying a higher rate than people with low credit scores. So what's that about? What's that misnomer?
So number one, this is something that went into effect May 1st on the mortgage-backed securities market. Mm-hmm. A loan that I do takes 60 days to get to the mortgage-backed securities market. Mm-hmm. All of this noise that everybody's been mouthing off about for the last week, all of this was in place back in February. So everybody's already, who bought a house since February, has already paid this higher supposed rate. Mm-hmm. And what's being portrayed is not actually what happened. We assess risk. That's what we do in mortgage world. We assess risk. Mm-hmm. And to do that, we have this grid called loan level pricing adjustments. And that's just a fancy word for assessing risk. And it helps us determine what the interest rate should be for somebody who has a low credit score and is only putting 5% down and is buying a manufactured home. These are all risk factors. Mm-hmm. Or vice versa, somebody who has an 800 credit score is putting 30% down and buying a regular stick-built home. The loan level pricing adjustment grid has needed to be redone for quite some time, and they decided to do it. Mm-hmm. In the process of redistributing the risk and redoing the grid, there are a couple categories of higher score borrowers that are going to see a slight increase in what it would cost to get that rate a week ago. Mm-hmm. I've seen things on the news. You're going to pay $40,000 more. You're going to pay $3,000 more in closing. None of this stuff is true. They see this grid and they're taking the factors on the grid and they're applying it to a $300,000 balance and going, you now pay $40,000 more for this house, but it's because they don't know what they're doing and they don't understand how the grid works. They don't understand how mortgage rates work. They don't understand how mortgage lending works. Mm-hmm. Are some lower credit score borrowers going to have a little bit of a reprieve? Yes. Are higher credit score borrowers going to be paying a little bit more? In some occasions. But this is not the whole rob Peter to pay Paul that everybody's saying that, oh, we're taking money from the rich to give it to the poor or to the people with bad credit scores to buy a house. That's just not what's going on. They needed to adjust the grading curve. And that's what they did.
Interesting. So also, I heard that you can do a mortgage through USDA, and there's a no down payment required. Is this an actual thing, or is this another one of those misnomers that's floating around there?
No, the people that certify your beef also do mortgage loans,
Hmm.
and they don't require
Nice.
a down payment.
The exact same guy, or is it different department?
It's probably different.
Yeah,
I'm
okay,
hoping it's a
fair.
different. I really hope it's a different department.
Yeah, for
but
sure. He's like, this
Either-
is good beef, and yes, you may have that home.
so we have FHA, which is a government backed lending product. We have VA, which is a government backed lending product, and then USDA. And essentially, USDA was created to help rural communities, which would have been predominantly farmers and ranchers,
Hmm.
be able to obtain financing with no money down.
Hmm.
But anybody that buys in these areas that allow USDA financing, you don't have to be a farmer, you don't have to be a rancher, you can get no money down.
Hmm.
So there's areas out in Sarita, Vale, south of the freeway, down in the Green Valley, Rio Rico area, out past the Tucson Mountains, heading out towards Ajo,
Hmm.
north of Marana. There's air pockets all around Tucson. So you could be on the outlying areas,
Hmm.
but you can do 100% financing. You don't have to have any money down. And in most cases, in this day and age, the sellers are paying a good chunk of your closing costs for you. In reality, you could possibly get into a house with none of your own money.
Hmm.
But the sacrifice is you may have to be in the outlying areas and have a drive into work.
Hmm. Yeah, that's super cool. That's and is that another option for possibly an investment property, USDA loan?
So no, you cannot do investment properties on USDA, FHA, or VA.
Okay.
You can only do investment properties in conventional financing or what we call non-QM, which is the new fancy term for the old school subprime lending.
Nice. So you guys are hearing it. This guy knows his stuff. According to his wife, Dr. Rachel, he's super smart. So I think that counts for something coming from her. But John, how can people get a hold of you if they're interested in your work?
They can call me on my cell phone at 520-247-3610. They can check us out on the website, inspiredlifemortgage.com, or they can get me at John, Jon, at theilgroup.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you both, the Inspireds, for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. That's John Spur with Inspired Life Mortgage, there with his wife, Dr. Rachel, with Inspired Life Chiropractic. I have my guest co-hosts here today. Thank you for joining me, Wesley Solar Source.
Yes, sir.
And tell them one more time how they can get a hold of you.
You can reach me at 520-223-1729.
And as I mentioned, we'll be camping out May 27th through May 29th. Go to veteranrescuemission.org to donate stuffs or donate money, donate your time, or just to check out the work that we do and let people know what they can do to help out. This is the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I am your grandma, your cousin, and your mom's favorite pastor, Pastor John McClain, here with Wesley Solar Source. He was a mensch. And we'll see you next week.